Hey, aloha. Aloha, Aina. It's Andre Perez. We're down here at the state capitol today on Saturday, February 28th. We're calling this our Ho'a Akoakoa, our Convergence for Unity. What we're trying to do is really get our people together to incorporate both our political struggle with our spiritual, our mana, and spiritual approach to the issue. So we're here to pule, to offer ho'okupu, to call upon our ancestors and our aumakua and our akua to assist us and guide us and to watch over and protect us. So we got mostly members from our Hui Pu and some other community members. We're trying to keep this simple, just a small ceremony. But we also want to use the opportunity while we have people here to continue to organize, to talk about what's next. What can we do? What should we do? How should we do it? What's our analysis on the current situation, and how are we going to approach these impending continued assaults on our sovereignty and self-determination? So we got to deal with all these things coming down. Everybody knows 2009 is going to be a very important, very heavy year for us. We're looking at OHA's nation-building plan, Ho'ulu Lahui Aloha, which we cannot forget about because they're still moving forward with Inoa and their nation-building plan. It's obvious that OHA is selecting these certain lands for their ceded land settlement to be supportive of their nation. You look at lands such as Kaka'ako or Kapole or the Naniloa Hotel, Hilo Banyan Drive. These are all things that are income generating lands. And many of us believe that OHA is really securing their existence, their future, by creating their own sort of revenue, income generating base so that they can support themselves should they be successful in their nation building plan. I think that we need to be really concerned about what kind of settlements are negotiated on our behalf and what comes along with that in terms of legal language. What do we forfeit? What kind of concessions are made? To me, any kind of settlement should include lands that we can settle on. And there needs to be language that clearly, powerfully, strongly articulates that we are not forfeiting our claims from the overthrow. That we're not giving up our claims to our sovereignty, our kingdom, our national rights over our lands. I think that possibly if OHA forces or pursues this issue of a ceded land settlement for the 20% 5F revenues, that they should at least try to get lands that will directly benefit our Lahui, the most needy, those who are less fortunate than us. Joki Aloha down in Waianae, our people living on the beach should be the priority, not these industrialized income generating lands. So these are the kind of things we want to talk about, think about. These are the kind of things that we need to organize and really try to hold OHA accountable, try to make sure that whatever is done on our behalf it does not compromise our future in terms of claims and sovereignty, self-determination, and justice. Mahalo. Aloha.
Is there any way that they can get in touch with you?
I can be reached at kanikapu@yahoo.com. KANIKAPU, kanikapu@yahoo.com. Aloha.
Aloha, my people.
I think what's really important about today is that we've had a couple of days to look at the oral argument transcripts from Wednesday's hearing. And in analyzing those transcripts, I think the most heart-wrenching and stunning thing I saw was that when you look at when Attorney General Bennett is arguing, you actually can see how he's trying to push the court and to take on issues that were not in the question he presented to the Supreme Court. And there's actually a very interesting dialogue in the first section, I would say pages maybe 3 to 11 of the transcript that you can find online, where he and Justice Ginsburg, who was the justice who penned the dissent in Rice v. Cayetano, really sort of get back and forth into it. And she's really trying to limit the decision, which is really what everybody wants. I mean, keep it focused on really the issue of the apology bill, and that's sort of a best case scenario. But you see Bennett really trying to push this into, addressing all the things that have come up in the 14 years of litigation, which are issues of the illegality of the overthrow, issues of Native Hawaiian rights, what still exists. And I found that incredibly disingenuous on his part, because he really said this was going to be a very narrow thing. But when he gets up and starts to argue it, you can tell he's actually looking for a very broad decision. And that's incredibly concerning to me, that we have an administration in place right now that does not represent at all what the society, not just Hawaiians, this entire society as a whole thinks about Native Hawaiians. I mean, I think the overwhelming number of people, Hawaiian and non-Hawaiian, really do support Native Hawaiians. I really think the problem is there are very few self-interested people who understand that Native Hawaiian claims are a threat to certain people's economic interests. And for those reasons, they really attack us, and they attack us on racist grounds and sexist and class and all these ridiculous things that are very, very far from the real issue, which is economics. So it's my hope that people will read the transcript and sort of see Bennett for what he is. I think the justices absolutely did. I think even justices who tend to be conservative, like Kennedy, jump in to sort of keep him within the lines. And I think that's very telling. Some of the smartest people in the nation see this man as really sort of stepping out of the bounds to really go after Native Hawaiian rights. And that's not what he really promised us, that he would not let that happen or didn't want that to happen, and we've seen differently. So I think today is important because not only is it a response to everything that's gone on, but we can directly address what happened Wednesday, the administration's actions, and really use this day to not just celebrate the cultural heritage of the place, but to educate people and talk about, sort of the difference between what this administration has said and then what it actually does. And I think that's a very important thing to do.
Oh, mahalo. And your name?
My name? I'm Kehaulani Watson.
Oh, is there any way that they can get in touch with you if they'd like to find out some more?
Yes, they can email me at kehaulani.watson@gmail.com.
Oh, mahalo. Thank you so much.
Anytime, Pono.